Ahead on Fishing Australia, we're tuning in part 2 of our Sunshine Coast adventure. If there's one thing certain about Queensland's Sunshine Coast, it's that there's much more to it than meets the eye. Just an hour's drive north of Brisbane, and you're in a place where 1 minute it's an ancient and dramatic landscape. The next, you're immersed in lush hinterland and rainforest, peppered with quaint villages where cafes and galleries share the sidewalk and the view. Then, just as quickly, you can find yourself lapping up the superb beaches and waterways, where a bite and a beverage are just a few steps from the sand. To discover all you need to know about this magical part of southeast Queensland, go to visitsunshinecoast.com. I've been to Baroom Pocket many times to fish and enjoy the nature of a place so close to my home at Pelican Waters. This time, I'm meeting Noel Blair, an elder of the Jinnaburra, who hold native title here.
Hey, Rob. How you going, my friend?
Morning, Noel.
Good to see you.
My pleasure to meet you.
You been here long?
Just got here. I've thrown a line in for you.
Oh, yeah? You get any bites yet?
Not yet, but we have fished here before. It was really good fishing. I normally come down in the kayak and we go looking for the schools of bass.
Oh, you get a better result out there in the kayak, won't you?
Yeah, because you cover a bit of ground, but I thought I'd throw a bait in and see what happens.
You ever fished from the bank before?
But today I will have a bit of a play.
Yeah, you need patience. One thing about it, you need to be patient, yeah.
Tell me a few about the places that were culturally significant to you, like possibly the Glasshouse Mountains or different areas within particularly in the hinterland and the hills that were special places for you.
Well, the Glasshouses, they have significant, the way they were created, see? By the serpents and all that.
Yeah.
And the stories are that, they like from Mount Arch over to the Glasshouse, Tibbergargans, he actually followed, he was the baby, see, and he followed the parents. But then what happened, they left him behind, and then he formed into one of the mountains, that's how the stories go, see.
Well, this is your rod, Uncle Noel. That's mine. Let's relax and wait for a bite and see what happens.
We settled in for a bit of a fish, but as we spoke, thoughts of actually having a go slowly drifted away.
You're right, mate, I won't hook you.
Not with your experience, eh?
No, I won't hook you. Touch wood, I haven't hooked anyone yet.
Been fishing for a long time, haven't you?
Yeah, Dad used to take me. And started pretty small. Can still remember my first fish with Dad. And I can come on this lake and, with the sounders and modern technology and go and find bass, no problem at all. And we have, and we've even filmed that a few times. But what I like sometimes about just throwing a line in is just the patience, isn't it?
Yeah, but you see what you just said about all the technology stuff that you got. You're cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you just go out and be natural? Because one thing about our culture, and I can't stress how important this is about you got to have patience.
Yeah.
Fishing, patience to deal with people. You need a patient like you're a patient in a hospital. Well, to be all those, you got to have certain qualities, eh?
Yeah.
And you got to control yourself and all that. So that's one thing about our culture. And the other thing is about when we're doing our arts and crafts, patience, and you got to have concentration.
Yeah.
For not only for arts and craft, but for anything.
Yeah.
For fishing, you got to concentrate. You got to, even when you're using the technology, you got to concentrate on it. But see, with our arts and craft, our culture, we have patience because we got to do what we got to do, and we didn't have any technology, so it takes a long time. See. Yeah. People don't realise what can happen to them if they did take time out to do that. See, and it's all about our attitude too.
Yeah.
if we got the wrong attitude about anything in life, then unfortunately it's going to affect us. See, because if you worry about what people say about you, if you worry what other people got, if you worry about what other people do, and you, first of all, you got to worry about yourself and what you do and your family and
Yes.
that. And that attitude will just help a lot of people, you know.
So like lead by example.
Oh, you got to lead by. See, like that's come down to our elders and our tribes.
Yeah.
You got to have wisdom and maturity.
Yeah.
That's two of the main things. Then you got to have skill and knowledge about what you got to do and how you got to. But one of the most things you got to have is respect.
Yes.
You got to have respect first for yourself, for everything that you do, and it helps you to. You got to be fair with everyone.
Yeah.
You can't treat anyone differently. See.
I sat with Noel a while longer, having a flick and a chat without a single bite. But it didn't matter, because sometimes fishing isn't always about catching. I'm on Queensland's Sunshine Coast, exploring the diversity and delights of this magical place. Although the Sunshine Coast has always been a tourist hotspot, it's also a magnet for new arrivals. I moved my family here 4 years ago, and it's the best thing we've ever done. And while angling adventures are synonymous with the sunny coast, there's so much more for everyone, and that includes elite athletes. Champion cyclist Cal OBrien has landed here too.
Welcome aboard, mate.
Cal and his teammates are based at the Australian Cycling Academy here on the coast. And today, I'm taking this Com Games medalist for a bit of a look around and, of course, a fish. This is my backyard, Cal. I'm only up the canal here in Pelican Waters, and Pumicestone Passage here runs, well, it starts up at Caloundra there, formed by Bribie Island, and it runs 3/4 of the way to Brisbane and ends at Moreton Bay. And it's a beautiful little system. Yeah, isn't it? And mood changes a lot. The run out tide now, the water's sort of a little bit discoloured, which is really good for fishing. Yeah. The big tides push in, it turns blue. But yeah, it's a shallow system. It's very family friendly. Great place to learn. You haven't done much fishing before?
No, not too much. No.
Yeah, that's why I take people out in my little pontoon boat. It's very cosy, plenty of cover.
It's nice, yeah.
And a great place to learn how to catch a few family fish.
Yeah.
All right, well, we might get underway and head down the passage here to a couple of spots I've got. I'll tell you what, I haven't explored it all. I've been here 4 years and so many little nooks and crannies.
I can imagine.
At such an elite level, Kel's busy training program doesn't give him much time to relax. But today, all that changes as we meander around, taking in the scenery and wetting a line. We're about 5k south of where I live on the Pumicestone Passage here, and we're going to chase bread and butter species, Kel. So you've got whiting, bream and flathead. Yep. Very common throughout southeast Queensland. Great species to learn how to target here on the sunny coast. Popular, common, easily accessible boat, bank. So I'm going to show you how to do that, but what do you think of the spot so far?
Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's nice and quiet out here now, like, since we've stopped, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. All right, let's rig up and get them in. The lines went in, and I knew that around here, it'd only take 5 or 10 minutes before we had some visitors. That's what we want, Kel. Those little guys pecking away. We've got a couple of baits in there, yeah. And they'll be little fish. So the trick here is to put a bigger bait on. Yeah. They can't pinch it easy.
Yeah, okay.
And then your bigger bream or flathead comes along and we go from there. But it's a really good day for it. Not too much wind, the boat's not swinging too much.
Yeah, yeah.
I've got a feeling we're going to catch a few. There you go, like that. There you go, mate, you're on. There you go. Yeah, keep that rod high and let's wind that. That's a half reasonable fish. Now you'll have to wind. I'll just clear this other line. I don't know what you've got there. Oh, keep winding, he's there. He's still there, he'd come towards you a bit. Oh, I think he's still there. Yeah, he's still there. As we get close, I'll pass this over the top. Yeah, keep going. What have we got? Oh, there you go. Oh. Bring it over here, swing it up, mate. First cab off the rank. I'm not bothered about netting him, there's plenty of these around. Yeah. If you could just I'll open that, pop that in the holder for me.
This one here,
yeah. Yeah, or any of you can hold on to it, but there you go, that's your classic Pumicestone Passage bream. Plenty of these guys around. Bream City up here. First fish in a while, mate?
Yeah, first fish ever, I reckon. It's proper fish.
Yeah, and you're not scared to grab him. He'd be a legal size.
Yeah, right.
But we'll probably let him go.
Yeah.
Pretty easy?
Yeah, that was good. That was actually pretty exciting.
Good to hear, good to hear. I love introducing you. Well, you've done a little bit as a kid.
Yeah, a little bit.
I love getting people into fishing, and
Yeah,
I think you'll be doing more of it up here, mate.
100%. Yeah.
All right. I got this one.
Yeah, you got it.
Oh, it's off. I know it's still there. It's only small. Yeah. What do we got? Oh, another brim. Not quite as big as your one, but there's plenty of these around. Yeah. Now you get some lunkers in here, mate.
Oh, that's funny.
And throughout the day, you might see, half a dozen flatties, sometimes some real big ones.
Yeah.
And whiting, if you particularly use prawns or worms. Be nice to see a grunter or two. He's only a little guy. Beautiful fish though, aren't they?
Yeah.
All right, fresh bait. I'll get some on now. He's made him. Look what they've done, mate. He's picked everything except the
picked
skin
all
off.
the good bits.
All the sushi, and just left the skin for us.
We certainly had some skin left in this game, and that's next on Fishing Australia. Today I'm playing the role of tour guide with my new neighbour, champion Australian cyclist Cal O'Brien. We've been scoping out a few spots on the Pumicestone Passage here on the Sunshine Coast and getting to know each other along the way.
Cal, I got to go to the Commonwealth Games. It was only just down the road on the Gold Coast. Absolutely electric. So proud of all the Aussie guys. Saw you guys win a team pursuit. Just, gives you goosebumps. The atmosphere, the crowd, just, it's everything. It's amazing. But what does it take, mate, mentally and physically to get to that level as an athlete?
Yeah, I think you said it really well. The atmosphere and everything was electric. It really was, and I think the mental side of elite sport is huge. And one of the biggest parts for me personally is getting to be somewhere where you're happy and where you are motivated to train and around good people. And the Sunshine Coast has been an awesome base for that, with the Australian Cycling Academy, the University of Sunshine Coast, the Sunshine Coast City Council have all been huge in producing an awesome environment for athletes and locals, and just the whole vibe on the Sunshine Coast is unreal. So I think for me that's a massive part in getting mentally right for elite sport.
And it helps, of course, that when you do have that little bit of time off, it is a user-friendly environment. But what was the first thing that went through your mind when you won that race in world record time, I must add?
Oh, look, it was a whole lot of emotions that came, rushing through. I didn't know that we had broken a world record until I got off my bike. I was just super happy that we won, and when I got off my bike and I saw that the world record had been broken, it's fair to say I shed a few tears, and it was awesome to have all my family and friends and everyone here for the home games.
Unreal. Mate, he's got a fair collection of medals at the age of 19, and we just got to get a few more fishing medals. I got a feeling if it's not today, you're going to be doing a bit more along the coast.
Yeah.
So we'll get back into it. I think the little guys have got this bait while we were talking. That's what you got to do here. You just got to keep changing the baits. Yeah.
I hope Cal was in condition right now, because the little nibblers were just replaced with something a lot bigger.
You got him. That's bigger. Yeah, wind. That's it. Now, this is a bigger fish. Right on cue. I'm not sure what. I'm going to pull the other lines in though, so they don't get tangled. Don't know what this is. I told you you'll catch something big. So, yeah, all right.
It was big, all right, but not what we expected or necessarily wanted.
Done a pretty good job there, mate, and he's holding. Yeah, well done. You're holding it away from me. Look, stingrays. There's a lot in the system, a lot of different species. They were very popular with Indigenous cultures in years gone by, but we generally let them go, and the way to do that is you don't want to get too close, because he's obviously got the thing in his tail. So grab the stick, grab that there. Yeah, let's get a wrap on it. There you go. And that way he doesn't end up with a lot of line. He's just got the little hook in his mouth, a little bit of jewellery.
Yeah.
Bit of body piercing, and off he goes. Oh, well, that's the start, mate. Noah, you're upsized. You just don't know. Sometimes you come out here and that big first run's a threadfin salmon, or sometimes a mangrove jack or a big flathead. You just got to come out and give it a go.
Give it a go.
Yeah, that's all part of the fun.
That was a pretty good first outing for Cal O'Brien. And while he shifted his focus from angling back to cycling, my adventure went from the passage to another prize. Chasing tuna today, beautiful conditions for it. When the tuna are running, they're not far out, run up to a mile offshore at the most. Travel up and down the coast looking for the birds. I've got one of the Fishing Australia family members with us, Tommy Wood, who of course is a son of Rob Wood. He's driving today. We're going to go look for those birds. Should catch a few fish along the way. And yeah, I think we're in for a pretty special day. You don't have to go too far from anywhere here on the Sunshine Coast to hook a prized catch. And I especially love going for the tuna. An awesome fish for many reasons, and never an easy opponent. There's a bit of an art to chasing these tuna. It's more hunting than fishing. We've got some birds up there chasing bait fish. The last thing you want to do is go belting over, especially from downwind. We're going to get around in front of them, cast a good old twitching lure at them, and see what they are. The hunt was on, and when we return, we will find out what they are. In the meantime, you can keep up with all the action, adventure and excitement from our travels by going to the fishingaustralia.tv website. You'll find tips to help you land that dream catch, plus info about our destinations. And make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. While the beaches and resorts and the wining and dining are some of the star attractions of the Sunshine Coast, fishing is also a major contributor to this region. Just head to Mooloolaba and you'll find the largest tuna and prawn fleets on the east coast. And the results are delicious. The quality of Sunshine Coast seafood is superb, some of the best in the world. And the prawns, my absolute favourite. Seafood is just one aspect of this very special part of Queensland. To discover all you need to know about the sumptuous menu of fun, relaxation and adventure, go to visitsunshinecoast.com. Back on the water and just off Mooloolaba, I'm on the hunt for tuna. With Tommy Wood at the helm, we'd already encountered some activity and the prospects of landing one were looking good.
Yeah, we're on. Yep, got it. Yoo! Yoo-hoo! Yoo-hoo! Woo! Well done, Robbie. Woo! I'll tell you what, it's taken a while. I think it's what we're looking for. There we go. Oh, might come down the back with Tommy. Oh, oh, Tommy. Tommy, it's got that big tail beat, mate. Looking good. It's got that big slow tail beat. It could be the specific tuna we're after. Oh, this is just one of my absolute favourite forms of fishing because it's visual. Cruise along the coast, see the birds, judge whether they're big fish underneath or small fish, what they're doing. Sometimes you see clearly that they're big long tail jumping. Other times it's smaller tuna and you want to let the lure sink below and see if you can pick up a spotty or a Spanish, but I'm pretty sure this is a nice long tail, Tommy. Look at it.
Yeah, looking like good fish.
A mac tuna, I mean, unless I've hooked it in the tail or something like that, a mac tuna generally, a lot of head shakes and would have slowed up by now. If it is a mac tuna, it's the mother of all mac tuna. So I'm thinking we got ourselves a beautiful Sunshine Coast long tail. A little way to go yet. We've got to actually land it, and they're cruel fish. They can get off at any second. So let's see if we can show you one. At the moment, I've got a 10 kilo spin stick on. I got 15 kilo braid and 15 kilo leader, and that's at the upper end of what I chase him with, and he's still giving me a really good fight. If you go lighter, you can be on him for an hour. Fight on this outfit's probably around that 15 to 20 minute mark. Sometimes you've got to go lighter to get the bite, particularly during the day if they're a little bit line shy, that lighter line, they don't see it as much. And you certainly get a lot of the smaller tuna as well when you lighten up the line. Okay, up he comes here now, Tommy. You get the under his head.
Fish, Rob.
He is. Oh, he's only just hooked too. Rightio. And then when you get a chance. Yoo-hoo! I might tail grab him out of here, mate. Hang on.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, John. Off. He's spent now. Come on. Yeah.
We've tied him out. He had the line wrapped around his tail for a sec, so I brought him in backwards. But look at that. Get that twitch, yeah, get that twitching lure out, mate.
Yeah, he's just stuck in the gob there.
Oh yeah, you are looking there. I'll tell you what, that is the best fun you can have standing up. We have about 7 kilos there of prime northern bluefin, also known as long-tailed tuna, fishing with Tommy Wood, son of Robbie, on the sunny coast. Beautiful conditions, great fish, and best thing about this is they are fantastic eating. Sashimi, cooked up. My whole family's going to be happy, and a few friends as well. Mate, Tommy, thanks so much for bringing me out here,
worries.
mate. I know you've caught plenty of them, but to get out here and catch one on cue for cameras in the evening as the sun goes down, it doesn't always happen, but we got good gear, and it all happened today. If you'd like to learn about this twitching lure and the special offers available, just go to globalshop.com.au or call 1300 792 286. It had been an epic day on the water and the perfect way to wrap up my Sunshine Coast adventure. Even though it's my backyard, there's always something new and exciting to enjoy. And it's not just about fishing. From the mountains to the sea, this place has it all.